For more, let's cross to Nigeria's capital, Abuja, and human rights activist, former Senator Shehu Sani. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
What, for you, the visit of the U.S. Secretary of State, it follows the recent trip by Nigeria's new president to Washington. What's it all about?
Well, I believe that the U.S. Secretary of State is here on an official diplomatic mission. But we have issues which we will like the United States to fundamentally intervene and support. And the most important issue is the security challenges being faced by the Nigerian state. Terrorists and bandits in northern part of the country have been wreaking havoc, killing people, kidnapping people, and unleashing a regime of terror. We would like to see the United States lift some armed restrictions against the Nigerian army and support us in the war against terrorism. And also there is economic issues we face too. We would like to see how we can partner with the United States to support our country in that aspect. So I believe these are fundamental issues that Blinken visit should be able to address.
In the past, the United States has sometimes been wary of weapons shipments to Nigeria, fearing they would get into the wrong hands, with also procurement questions. This president, though, he's been dubbed as the most pro-Western president that Nigeria's had since in a very, very long time. Is it going to be different with Mr. Tinubu?
Well, whether he is pro-Western or anti-Western, what is most important for our country is the fact that we are facing a serious existential threat. Terrorists have been wreaking havoc in our country. And whichever country can come to our support, we will be very much glad with it. And United States have a role to play. Some few years ago, the United States sold some weapons to Nigeria, some aircraft to Kano aircraft and some things. But there are still some legislations in the US that restrict the delivery or the sale of arms to Nigeria for human rights and other concerns. But for the fact that insurgents are becoming more daring and creating more problem to us, even to our capital city, I believe the coming of Blinken should be able to help in this aspect. The president is interested in solving the problem of the country, and we want to get support from anywhere, whether it is Russia, whether it's China, whether it is United States, any country that can be of use to us. We're very much glad. It's not being pro or anti, but our country first, and the issues that concern us is what is most important.
The U.S. pushing to develop deployment of unarmed drones in places like Ivory Coast, Ghana, and neighboring Benin. Is that good news?
For us in the country, there is no stomach to support deployment of drone stations in Nigeria. We don't want drone stations. We want support for our army to be able to tackle our own local security challenges. It's left for the countries of Ivory Coast if they want to have drone bases, American military bases, but I don't think we need it in Africa. We have an army that all it needs is technical and support to be able to execute its own function. We are not in support of having any military base within our territory of a foreign nation.
Shehu Sani, what's your reading of how, when this U.S. Secretary of State is in Nigeria, he and his hosts view what's happening over the border in Niger? Because there were red lines that were established by the West African states of ECOWAS. Those the red lines were crossed by the coup leaders there. They forced out the French. The United States keeping their drone base in the north of Niger, in Agadez. Your thoughts on what the lessons are from what happened in Niger and how the U.S. and Nigeria together should be looking at Niger?
Well, first of all, Nigeria is a democratic state, and we support democracies in the whole of Africa and specifically in West Africa. But the coup that happened in Niger and other West African countries are issues that crosses the line of ECOWAS protocol. But using military solution is not the issue, and also imposing sanction will only inflict more hardship on the poor people in those Sahelian countries. So I believe that the US and ECOWAS should work towards encouraging a peaceful democratic transition in West Africa rather than applying a hawkish approach. And the president of Nigeria has been the chairman of ECOWAS. I know it very well that whatever happens in Niger Republic has the capacity of spilling over to Nigeria. And that is why, and Niger is also an important neighbor in the war against terrorism. And we have historical, cultural, and religious ties over the years. And they are our African brothers and sisters. So we will not like Niger to be destabilized. We will not like any military intervention in Niger, but we would like to see a peaceful transition to democracy. So Blinken should be able to support and encourage that and not a hawkish approach to that. I believe Nigerian president has also soft paddle over his initial demand for an immediate military intervention. So I believe that the two leaders should be able to work together in this respect.
Shehu Sani, you began this discussion raising the red flag of banditry and insurgency in the north of Nigeria, the insecurity, the wider insecurity in the region. The fact that you have those U.S. drone bases still there, is that a good thing?
I don't know whether drone bases can is the solution, because there were drone bases in Niger Republic while terrorists were still attacking northeastern part of Nigeria and even southern part of Niger. So it is not America to come and fight our wars for us. If you are providing drones for Niger army, for Cote d'Ivoire army, for Nigerian army to be able to operate, and then to be able to go after terrorists, that will be a good thing to do. But we have our reservation with regards to having a foreign army or foreign military drones in West Africa, and particularly in Nigeria. There should be support, technical support, military support, technological support for our army to be able to fight our own problem and address our challenges. So this, I believe, should be the best way out.
Shehu Sani, many thanks for speaking with us here on France 24.